Hello everyone, welcome back to Tea with Jules, or if this is your first time, welcome to Tea with Jules. This is a place where I sit down and have a cup of tea with awesome, inspiring, fun people that I look up to, people I've never met before but have been watching from afar and admire a lot. And today I'm going to be speaking with Sofia Wylie. Now she is a Disney star. She's best known as her role Buffy that she plays on Andy Mack. She is only 14 years old and honestly one of the most insightful, smart, beautiful 14-year-olds I've ever met before. We talk about everything from how she got her role on the Disney Channel to social media, being a teenage girl and having 1 million Instagram followers watching her every move. She is absolutely gorgeous and she was so fun to talk to, so I really hope you enjoy this interview. And here's Sofia. Sofia, thank you for joining me for tea. It's lovely to have you.
Thank you for having me.
You're 14 years old. Mm-hmm. And you're a Disney girl.
Yes.
You're on Andy Mack and your character is Buffy.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You guys don't say ma'am here. You guys say miss, right?
Well, not even. We're not that polite. Yeah. I wish we were. I'm going to teach my kids to say ma'am.
Ma'am, yes. I've learned ma'am many, many times. Ma'am and sir. Ma'am and sir.
Okay. You can call me ma'am as many times as you like, and I will take it. But can you tell me a little bit about, I mean, your story is very short because you're so young, but can you just tell me how you got into being an actor and how this whole Disney experience came around?
For the first part of my life, I didn't really have a lot of things that I did actively like outside of school and until I found dancing. I loved dancing and I still do to this day, and so I really started getting serious with dancing around 10 years old, and I started going out to LA booking different dancing jobs, and it started becoming like background dancing for shows or for artists singing, and I started to realize that I didn't just want to be like dancer number 5. Like I wanted, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I wanted to do something more because I always felt like I wanted to do something more. I've always wanted to be an actress, but I never thought, I could be. And I told my dad that, and he's such a go-getter. He was like, okay. And I was like, wait, really? I was kind of just saying that because I wanted it. And I just started going out for little auditions, and it built its way up to getting bigger auditions for TV shows and movies. And I eventually booked the role of Buffy on Andy Mack, and it was the best day. I was actually doing my hair, and of course I had all the products on my hands. My dad came in, he was like, hey, your agent's on the phone. I was like, okay. So he held the phone for me. I kind of put it into my arm in an odd way, and she told me, guess what, you got the role of Buffy. And I dropped the phone, started screaming. I was so excited, and even thinking about it puts a smile on my face. That day was such an amazing day, and I'm just so thankful for it.
And how old were you when that happened?
I was 12 years old.
12
Yes, which is so weird to think that I've been on Disney for 2 years now.
So when that moment happens and you realize you're going to be on a Disney show, because there are so many people that we know of who've gone on to become super famous, people like Miley Cyrus, and they are household names. They are blitzing it in life.
Yes.
Do those things go through your mind in that moment, like,
yeah,
this might happen to me?
Well, in that moment, I don't think I was thinking of much. I was just kind of externally and internally screaming. But as I started to think about it, it was quite surreal. I was like, is this really happening? I've always wanted to be on Disney. And of course, everyone usually does. You do the little wand ID thing in your room with your sister or your brother. Yes. And eventually I did get to do that as well. And of course I bawled my eyes out afterwards. It's been a crazy experience, and thought that I can be that role model or that person that somebody's looking up to all around the world, because I know I looked up to so many of the Disney stars, and I still do. Like when I meet them, when we're doing promotional things together, I'm like fangirling inside. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm meeting this person, I watch your show. It's the craziest thing.
Who are some of your favorites?
I got to meet Zendaya, of course. She's one of my faves. Of course, course, Jenna Ortega, and she's on Stuck in the Middle, or actually that show just ended, but it was an amazing show and I love it. And all of the cast of Stuck in the Middle and Bizaardvark and Raven's Home, that new one, and all of the shows I really love on Disney. Even though I'm 14, I still love watching Disney movies and shows, and I don't think I'll ever stop because that's my home, that's my heart. I love it.
So I love Disney.
Yeah,
just gives you a feeling.
Yeah, in Disneyland or Disney World, whenever you go there, it is the happiest place on earth.
It really is. It really is. You're right. Being a 14-year-old and having this dream in your heart that you want to be an actor, and I've seen you dance. You're incredible. An amazing dancer.
Thank you so much.
My gosh, how do you do that with your body? So good.
Thank you.
What do you think drives you, and do you ever get a little bit nervous? These are your teenage kind of years. Do you sometimes feel like you might miss out on the normal, whatever normal is, teenage life?
I've been homeschooled since I was in 3rd grade, and at first it was for different reasons than being an actress or being a dancer, because I wasn't doing any of that at that time. And then eventually when I started dancing, that kind of took over my life, and I never really went back to school because that was my plan originally, to just go back to regular school. And I never really missed it until about at the end of the first season of Andy Mack. I was like, Mom, Dad, I want to go to school. Because our characters were going to school and we had these lockers, and I had this really crazy idea of what school would be like because our characters' ideas and things that happened at school seemed so cool. And they're like, okay, well, then you can't really go, to LA and do the interviews and the premieres, because I just wouldn't have time, of course, if I was going to school every single day. And I was like, I had to really make a decision, like, do I want to have, like, that regular school life, going to school dances or prom? And I realized, like, I can just bomb my sisters. Like, I can go to hers. No, I realized that, of course, I wanted to do this for the rest of my life, and this was my priority. And I feel like I will definitely be able to do that in the future. I can always go with one of my friends to their proms, and I'm not really concerned about missing out in that aspect. But all I really want is to go on a school bus and have my own locker, and I'll be set for the rest of my life. I'll be like, bye, school, that's okay. I just want that so badly. But, yeah.
And all the kids are going, if I didn't have to get on the bus.
Right? That's what they always say. I'm like, I just want that. And they're like, what? You get to travel all around. Like, why would you want that? But it's just the things you can't have that you always want. But I'm very lucky with what I have, and I'm very blessed and thankful for everything. So
now you have 1 million followers on Instagram. Can you comprehend that? Every time you post, I get nervous. I've got like 115,000 or whatever. I get nervous every time I post something that, I don't know, whatever. Someone's gonna be offended, or there's this pressure. Do you, as a 14-year-old girl with 1 million eyes watching everything you post, do you feel the pressure of that?
I've assembled a team to help me with my social media, of course, because I don't feel as though at my age, at 14 years old, or really at any age, that I need to have that pressure of, what time do I post? How many likes does this get? How many comments? Because it is this crazy business. Social media is this way that you can promote something you're on, or something you've created, and it's a great thing, but it is also very stressful, and it takes up a lot of your time. And I feel like right now I need to focus on myself and my family and my work and what I'm doing as an actress, and not necessarily the social media aspect of it. So I always go on social media to contact my fans and my friends, but I try not to really look at how many likes did I get, because I can start to get consumed by that. I see when I do start to think about it, that's all I think about. So I definitely try to keep that in the corner and just focus on the things that are important. But I mean, social media is different to everyone, and it always will be. No one's gonna agree on what social media is to them. But to me, it's something that I can just show the world what I am and who I am, because I don't get to meet everybody. I don't get to meet a million people. I wish I could, but I get to show them who I am and what I like to do and what I'm going through and who I'm hanging out with, and I love that part of it.
Yeah, I am so glad you said that. Now, your dad.
Yes.
He's a life coach, right?
Yes, he is.
What do you think the best piece of pearl of wisdom that he's given you in life would be?
That's the best thing about having a father who is a psychologist, because I get free talks. I get to have free sessions.
Right.
But he always gives me the best advice. Any time that I'm upset with someone or something or a situation and I don't know how to deal with it, he always gives me advice, and I try to live my life how I think my parents would, and of course I have to learn how to live my life in my own way, but they're such great role models that I can really look up to them and try to follow in their footsteps. But I think something great that he's told me is to let go. That's like one of the hardest things when you're mad at someone or something, some situation. You have to let it go and let them be who they are, because they probably have so many more things going on in their lives and you don't know about it. You just think that they're attacking you for no reason, but it's probably because they're having a bad day or they have some insecurity about themselves that they want to put on you so that they can make themselves feel better. And I never really understood that, and still to this day it's so hard for me to comprehend why anyone would be mean to me or you or anyone for reasons that are not really there. I've just had to learn and just keep my composure when there's a certain person that I have to be around that isn't kind, because that's my least favorite people are people who are not kind. It's so difficult to be around people like that that are always putting others down and saying negative things and making everything a negative situation. But being the bigger person and letting them be themselves is, I think, something that he's really taught me and that I'm proud of, that I know and that he knows that he's been able to pass down to me, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, it does. And to not take it on for your own day. You just okay, that's your thing.
Yeah,
I'm going to be over here.
Aside.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. You're a very insightful 14-year-old.
Thank you.
Very insightful.
Thank
I need to ask your parents some hot tips on how to raise some seriously good children.
How old are your children?
6 and 4.
Oh, they're so good.
They
That's
are
the best.
adorable.
I mean, I act like I'm a mother. I'm like, that's the best age. I don't know, but I feel like that's the best age, because I remember being 4, of course, and I was living it up in preschool. You know, learning my ABCs was my only woes and worries.
Oh, yeah.
But, that's so adorable.
Yeah, they're adorable. You have to meet them. Because you would come across a lot of kids in your line of work. You would have to meet a lot of children and talk to them, and they're looking at you like you're some sort of Jesus, you know, like...
Yes. Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I mean, definitely when I look up to, like, Beyonce or Oprah, like, I look up to them like, oh my gosh, you're my idol. I've like looked up to you for so long. And it's hard to realize that they're just regular people.
What would you say, two-pronged question, what would you say the best part of your job is and the not so best part of your job?
The best part of my job is being able to be anyone I want to be. Like, I've had quite a lot of roles that are very similar in the ways that they're very confident in who they are, and they're very active and smart or intelligent, and so I've been able to really experience that type of person a lot when I play that type of person in a role. But you could go from being like sweetest person on earth and then snapping into action and being like this is a great example. One of the characters on Auntie Mac, her name's Amber, and she's like the mean girl, and she has so many different layers, but at first you just think of her as the mean girl. And the actress who plays her name's Emily, and she is one of the nicest people you will ever meet. But then they say action, and she's like, I'm scared. I'm like, oh my gosh, where did Emily go? But it's crazy to see how you can just be someone else in an instant, and I love that about the job. And then my least favorite, there's really not any downs. I would just say waking up really early.
Just waking up in general.
Because I am like, Aurora from Sleeping Beauty, where I can sleep forever. And of course I don't have a curse on me. It's more like a blessing that I get to sleep forever. But
Thank God.
yes, but I just, even when I came here, usually people are like jet lagged, they can't sleep.
Yeah.
Not me. I had a nap for an hour. People were like, what are you doing? You can't nap. I still had like 9 hours of sleep that night. I was ready. I was perfect to go and work. But yeah, that's definitely one of the hardest parts is getting up super early, going to bed super early. Like I have to put that into my brain that I need to get this amount of sleep, but I like to go to bed late and then wake up late. So it's something that's...
What would you say is your craziest fan moment?
I got this DM once and they're like, so I heard your hair is a wig. And I was like, what?
I love how you say it like you're reading it, how you think they would say it.
So, and I was like, I don't even know how to respond to this because I mean, there's nothing wrong with wigs or weaves or anything like that. Like, I love how people can go from a big afro to like a little bob.
Yeah.
But my hair is my hair, and I take pride in my hair. So it's funny to see that someone would be like, it's not real. It can't be real. It's too much. Like, no, I just have a lot of hair on my head, and it's crazy. I got it from my dad. Now he's bald, of course. Sorry, Dad. But but when he was younger, he had like the biggest head of hair. So I've gotten that from him. But it's funny that someone would be like, I know everything about you.
Yeah.
And you don't even know that you wear a wig. And I was like, I didn't know that because I've never done it, but it's pretty funny.
Now you mentioned Back of the Net.
Yes.
That's why you're here in Australia filming an Australian movie.
Yeah.
So cool. How did that happen?
Well, I was contacted by the production, and they sent me the script. They were wondering if I was interested in this, and of course, when I heard that it was going to be filmed in Australia, I was like, yeah. But then I read the script and I was even more like, yeah, because it's such an amazing, inspiring story of growing up and becoming who you are and making friends and doing things you wouldn't usually do. And I really love that message, and I wanted to be a part of that.
I feel like your message and everything that I've seen from you that you put out there is about kindness and being yourself and just embracing life for what it is, for all its joys and fun. Would you say that would be your message to the world, or how would you put it in your own words?
Yes. I want everyone to be happy and know that they're special and great, because I know so many people who have amazing potential and who are amazing human beings, but they've been put in this position where they can't show their potential to the fullest, or they're being put down by others and they don't realize that they're in such a toxic environment that's making them have to be exactly the way they are. And I just want people to just be happy. I just want everyone to live life to the fullest.
What an amazing role model you are, truly. If I had a daughter, I would just be like, there's you go. Go ahead and follow along with her.
Thank you.
You're amazing. You're wonderful. And so I've loved having tea with you.
Me too. Your questions were incredible. I loved this whole interview. It was one of my favorites I've ever had. You're so amazing.
Wow.
So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. I wanted to know all those things. I was just being nosy, really.
No, it was perfect. I loved it.
Oh, good. Well, thank you for coming to Australia and for having tea. Cheers to us. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any more inspiring interviews.